Hello and welcome to Authentic AF Conversations with Christie Bemis. And I'm so excited that I'm here today with Lisa Pretto of House of Color in West Madison, Wisconsin. And don't we all need our own personal color analysis and style? I think so. Yes, yes. So I was talking with Lisa a little bit before she came on, before I give you her bio, a little bit about her bio. And I was saying how intimidating it is for me to get on with somebody who's potentially like judging my color or whether the fit's correct or not. So it was a little intimidating, and I'm sure other women feel that same way.
Yeah, no need to be intimidated. It's funny because my kids are always convinced, like, do you look at someone and just know they're wrong? And that's not like that's just not what we do. It's a very scientific process that when you come in where we go through lots of layers. So I'm not out there just looking at people and going like wrong, wrong, wrong. So until you're in the studio with me, I don't have a lot of opinions. Well, I have a lot of opinions, but not
Yeah,
about that specifically. So
yeah. Well, that's good. It's good to know that, we're not all getting targeted. So Lisa is of House of Color, and she does color analysis, but also personalized style analysis and really personal branding for women so that your wardrobe and your style keeps up with where you are at in your business, which I think is super exciting because I need you. So people that work with you can discover the colors that naturally illuminate their complexion, learn the styles that really celebrate their bodies, and shop with confidence and purpose. And I know for me, I want to go in my closet and feel like less clutter and definitely more confidence that no matter what I'm pulling out of there, it's going to look good on me so that I feel good and I can move out into the world. So I hope that bio did a justice to you. Is there anything that you want to add to people that are listening and viewing?
yeah, I think you're exactly spot on. My ideal client, when I'm working with women, are women who are six-figure earners, there's coaches, there's speakers, there's CEOs, they're founders, and they're busy. They're busy. And one of the things that they know is that they need their wardrobe to work for them, but they don't necessarily have the time or the ability to learn all the things it takes to build that perfect wardrobe for them so that they're going to a conference, they're speaking in front of a group, they're going networking. It really is taking that whole woman into consideration and building out her outer wardrobe that really works for her life and supports where she's going with it. So it's just one of those things that I think most of us, we're not born with that skill. It's just like anything else. Some people are really great at finance and they really do a deep dive on all of those things and they bring us all that knowledge. And some people are great at leading us spiritually. This is just one of the things I've always been passionate about and invested so much energy in learning the tools, the tricks, the easy things that people can do to make it easier on themselves.
So how did you get involved in this? How did you know it was your passion and now your life business?
So I have always loved clothes and shopping.
I do too.
I always. And so I had a lot of things in my closet, but I always felt like I never had the right thing. I was still, even though I had a closet full of things that were on trend, new, very not they're not old, not tired, none of those things. But I would stand in front of my closet and I was like, I have nothing to wear. How can that possibly be? So it was just that endless buy, still with these big holes. And so that
Mhm.
was really frustrating for me because I was willing to invest, but I wasn't getting any return on that investment. And
Mhm.
so color analysis became a little bit more popular on my socials kind of near the end of the pandemic. People were sick of looking at
Okay.
themselves on Zoom.
Yeah.
Right? We needed to get out of our sweatpants at some point in time. And so we were just like, hated everything. We need something new. So I saw this house of color come across, and the closest one to us was in Wausau. And so I made an appointment and I drove myself up there, and I was so wrong in all of the things I thought worked for me. And that just shocked me because again, I had spent spending money on makeup, money on clothing, money on hair, money on jewelry, and I was so wrong. So I thought I was an autumn, and I was keeping my hair very warm golden blonde, and I was wearing lots of ivories and browns and tans and golds. But I knew when I looked at myself in pictures, I'm like, why am I so washed out? Everything on me looks
Mm,
all the same color. What's going on? So I went up and I found out I'm a winter, which is the exact opposite of what I thought I was.
yeah.
Crazy. And it was so eye-opening to me. So the first thing I did was took my daughter back up because I'm like, you need to do this. This is crazy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's kind of my personality. When I find something that I find is really impactful, I'm one of those, I'm an Enneagram 8. So I'm pushing everyone, do this, do this, do this. And
Yeah.
so after living with it for a little bit and looking at the business model, it's a franchise. And one of the best, most successful franchises was in Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa, and Madison, Wisconsin have an awful lot of things in common. And so they're very similar. And so I thought, well, if Des Moines can be a hotspot for this, what a great thing to bring to Madison. I
Yeah, they are similar. They have like an art scene of who's I've never been there except I went there and stayed overnight one time last January.
Oh, it's so cute.
So
It's just the
yeah,
cutest little place.
yeah.
And so, we it was it, I felt that it was something that was really impactful. I'm at a point in my life where if I'm going to work, I want to work for myself. And I want to work when I want to work, and I want to work really hard during those times. And so this is just such a joy filled business. And I'm working primarily with women every day, helping them feel better about themselves. And it just, everything came together and it's been just fabulous.
I imagine it's really rewarding to have a woman come and get a style brand and then completely leave different, like
Yeah.
transform. What
Yeah.
is that like? And do you have like a story of a transformation? You don't have to share names, of course, but a transformation where you were like, wow.
Yeah, it's funny. So it is amazing to me how many people will sit down and they'll be like, I would never wear this. I would never wear that. And by the end of their appointment with me, they're like, I look so good in that. Right. So color
Mhm.
and style, we have carry a lot of baggage in our subconscious about those things of
Yeah.
grandma told you you didn't look good in yellow. You flunked a sweater when you were wearing that purple sweater. I mean, women and our bodies and aging. I mean, there's just so much chaos in that, right? And
Mhm.
so, one of my favorite stories is a younger client that I had. She was pivoting into a coaching and speaking role. And we did her color. I mean, game changer. We did her style, which really empowered her and her body. Um, but as we were going through it and we were doing her, I'm like, no, no, no. I'm like, you're a badass. Like, you are really strong and tough. And she was just like, I, no one had spoken those words to me before. And she was
Yeah.
like, I really am. And it was just like, I feel like we are just bogged down in all the things society tells us about ourselves that we
Yeah.
have forgotten how to listen to that little voice inside. And to me, color and style is just kind of like opening that up and allowing you to realize the things you've already known about yourself, but you kind of have patted down over the years.
Yeah. So it ties in great for my authentic conversations because how you walk out of the house, whether you're going to work or you're going to the grocery store or you're just returning something to Kohl's, I don't know, is is really impacted by how you're what you're adorning yourself with.
Yeah. And one of the things we work with a lot is we talk about how do you want to be perceived, right? So we know that clothing speaks before you do. And so if we know that that is a tool we can use to forward how we want to be perceived. And
Yeah.
so if you want to be perceived a certain way, there are just certain things that are going to work and certain things that aren't going to work. And so I think we've gotten into like fast fashion trends. We have to be all of those things. But once you find what actually works for you and feels authentic to you, that just becomes a base for everything else. You can move through some of those trends, but it really is, what does your body need? What is your personality and what is your lifestyle? Those three things together help us determine what kinds of clothing is really going to work for you, because some people want to be quirky and artsy and some
Yeah.
people want to be um, feminine and open, right? And so those people need to dress different ways
Yeah.
based on what they want when they walk into a room. Well, how do they want people to feel about them?
Yeah, and some people want to be badass, like they want to stand up on a stage or in front of, their clients or audience and they want to be badass. And I think for me, as I age, one of the things that has been really forthcoming. I'm 55. And one of the things that is really forthcoming to me is I used to be able to turn heads, and not that like that's my whole goal as I walk out of the house is to, but there is something about that that like kind of feeds your ego and how irrelevant and invisible aging women feel, but they can express themselves, I imagine, through style.
Yeah, and I think even more so. I'm a little ahead of you on that age curve. And so I think the thing that's so interesting to me is that as you get older, you care less about what people think about
Yeah.
you. You care more about being authentic to yourself. I
Mhm.
think that women do go through that phase of I'm not 35 anymore. I'm not, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. But once you get past that little hump, you get into this like, oh, well, if I'm not that, I can be whatever I want. I can be
Yeah.
true to myself and I don't have to worry about what anyone else thinks about me. And I say that in terms of using that power to be more authentic to yourself, to use your clothing as an extension of who you are versus using your clothing in other ways that sometimes happens when you're younger.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't necessarily want to like stand out and be a head turner, but I want to feel confident and not invisible.
Yeah.
Like I definitely want to walk into a place and be served, and not like overlooked and things. And I think sometimes we can dress invisible.
Yeah. I mean, there is something like own your space, right?
Yeah.
Own your space and walking into a room. I mean, obviously, I'm a big color fan here. But walking into a room in a bright color, people see you and they remember you. And that's, I think, one of the big things when I work with women who are building businesses is that if you are out in the public, your goal is to be remembered. You're not going to be remembered wearing the same thing everybody else is in the same color everybody else is, right? When you're like, oh, she's the one with the beautiful scars. Oh, she always has a beautiful handbag. Or, oh my gosh, I love her jewelry, or whatever it might be. You want to be able to have that little back of the mind awareness. So when people see something, they're like, oh, yeah, I was with Christy last week and she had this really, right? So using your clothing to be memorable, if you're a woman in business, I think is critical.
Yeah. And our body shapes change and the things, that used to feel good on me. I want to not just look good, but I want to like feel good too.
Well, and that's, I think, where the interesting thing about body architecture comes in, right? So
Mm.
some people are curvy, some people are straight, some people are long legged, some people are long bodied, some people, right? So
Mhm.
I think the thing that's really important is that you learn what your body needs, and not every trend is for you. You can walk into a store and put something on and it doesn't work, but that's okay because that piece of clothing wasn't designed for you. It was designed for somebody else, right? And so you can still be striking and memorable and feel really good. And I think the thing is too, like, you know how it is when you feel good in an outfit? You
Mhm.
feel like you put it on, you're like,
Yeah.
yes. You walk into that room with that energy, you can't be invisible. Your energy is taking over and you are present there and you're not thinking about all of these other things and you haven't tried on 12 outfits that are all laying on your closet floor before you've got left the house. There's just something so it's almost like it's so important, but when you get it right, it gives you the freedom to think of the other important things.
Yeah. It frees up your mind so that you can
100%.
tune into other people in the room and not just be so self-conscious on yourself.
Right, where you're tugging at something, and
Yeah.
am I underdressed? Is my all of those things? I mean, that we worry about. It when
Mhm.
you know that outfit feels good for you, is authentic, fits your body well. You just don't have. You're not carrying that baggage around when you're walking into a new conversation.
Yeah, I love that. I love how it really impacts our psyche, and being a psychotherapist myself, it fascinates me. And I see such a need for it with women as they're scaling up in business. And that's why I'm really excited that next week for the Dames of Wisconsin, you're doing a special workshop that not just Dames of Wisconsin can go to, but anybody can go to. And it's on August 19th, and I'm really excited. What is some of the key takeaways anybody that's coming to that is going to have?
I think the big things is to realize, the big question is, does your wardrobe reflect where you're going?
Mhm.
Um, are you stuck in soccer mom? Are you stuck in startup mode? Or does it really, if you're going to walk on a stage, if you're going to, go to a networking event, are you portraying yourself for who you really are? Are you using your clothing to its greatest advantage, right? I think that's something that's really important. I think doing some of that deep work and deciding what are your style words. Not everybody wants the same thing, right? Some people,
Mhm.
it's very, very specific to people. And so once you know those style words, they act as the base for everything. Does this piece of clothing help me lift those style words up, or does it put them down? I think that's something that's really important. So we're going to go into quite some depth about coming up with your style words. Also knowing that style is not supposed to be restrictive. It's just supposed to be a base for things. So my style words might be classic and feminine.
Mhm.
When I'm working, I'm one way. Well, when I'm going on a date with my husband, I probably don't dress the same as I do for work,
Yeah.
right? Or if I'm going to the farmer's market, right? Those are three very distinct things that probably happen on most weeks. But classic and feminine always stays at the base. And then I can go a little bit over that, but it gives me that base where everything comes back and I'm creating that one persona as opposed to I dress this way at home. I mean, I was notorious for looking pretty good when I would leave the house, but not so great if it was just me at home. And so what that did is it just made me feel sloppy, right? And then I'd have
Mhm.
to run to the grocery store and I'd be like, oh, please don't let me run into anybody while I'm at the grocery store looking a hot mess.
Mhm.
And so building a level of continuity in your look
Yeah.
opposed to highs and lows, I think is really, really important as well. And then
Mhm.
learning, I think, what you can take away from what we are bombarded with and
Mhm.
what you can let go. I am not a believer. I mean, if you're on any social media platform, you're going to see people
Mhm.
talk about doing hauls, right? Their Amazon haul, their Target haul, their
For
Nordstrom
sure.
haul,
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
these things. Clothing is not meant to be hauled, right? Clothing is
Okay.
meant to be curated. And so,
Oh, I love that word.
oh,
My favorite words.
right. I mean, it's just
Curated.
right, exactly, because like
Yeah.
you want to be so specific with things that you are bringing into your life, right? Because the clothing has energy. And so standing in front of a closet of things that don't fit you, or standing in front of a closet full of things that were made in a country where those people were paid 3 cents for the day or whatever it might be, you don't want that negative energy. You don't want to curate
Mhm.
that energy into your life. You want your closet to have a level of respect and a level of order that really
Wow.
speaks to you. And so when you're using it as a tool, you are using that as a tool to
Mhm.
really create the life that you want.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason I say curator is one of the my favorite words. Curious is too, but curator is more, is it's a powerful position to have. When you're a curator in a museum or an art gallery, you're basically choosing the story of history, or you're choosing the story of like how you want a person to feel as they walk through. So being a curator of your own closet is
Yeah.
such a powerful imagery for me of like you're really creating a story and a persona and a choice. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not just by whim. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And I guess I think it's something that fashion should be fun, right? Fashion should be
Uh-huh.
fun. Style is fun. But the difference between fashion and style is that style is intentional. And that's
Yeah.
where I think sometimes we miss the mark on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this because this is super surprising to me to talk to you. It's not just about like color analysis. It's about so much more. And I could just continue talking more and more and more about it. So I hope people come to the August 19th event that we have, and I'll make sure I put a link in this, as well as you're going to be a major sponsor for our upcoming gala, Royal Garden Party and Gala for the Dames of Wisconsin. And I'm really excited to hear about like what do you want to wear to that? Because it's a whole Bridgerton theme. And so
Hmm.
what's coming up for you when you think about that with your undertone of like
Right.
classic? And what were your
I was
words?
thinking feminine.
Okay, so what will you be
Right?
wearing?
Yeah. So I think the big thing for me is I know that I don't do well when I go costuming. Right. So if I
Yeah.
go costuming, it feels very, it's like, when you went to a country concert and you had to buy the cowboy boots and you never wore them again. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, I really want to lean into the romance of that era. Right. When
Yeah.
we think of that clothing, it just feels so romantic to me. So I'm thinking like a silk dress that kind of nips in at the waist and has a little bit maybe of sheerness up here. Some beautiful jewelry. I probably will have to do a little something, I love a hat or a fascinator.
I do too. Yeah.
So yeah, so I think staying really true so that I feel like it's me, but it's leaning into that part of me who loves the romance of that era. And so really exploring that a little bit more.
Yeah, and the reason Amber Sweener, the current president, and I like wanted to do a Bridgerton theme is because that whole series is all about like women's empowerment. And that whole uh time period is just all about like how, romance and
Hmm?
yeah, and just we're gonna have Golden Gossip, which is, a kind of a play on what they do with Bridgerton, where we really celebrate women in business because we don't pause enough to celebrate
Oh.
and to say, well done.
Well, so I think especially when you have, when you're a high achiever, you're building, you're doing that, your next goal is right in front of you. You've barely tied up this one and you know where you're
I
going
know.
next. Yeah, I think it is so important to pause and just relish in some of those big things.
Yeah, so that'll be September 17th on the shores of Lake Monona at
Oh, it's gonna be
Sandusky.
beautiful.
We're so excited for that. So I'm going to do a rapid fire with you as we wrap up. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. A huge question. I wear black a lot. Timeless or overused? This is
Over
blue, by the way.
I know. Overused. So black, here's the thing with black. I do have to give my looks. If I just say overused, people are gonna be like, oh no. Black is a color, is it absorbs all of the light.
Okay.
Every other color reflects light to your face. So black is a very, very tricky color to wear, and most people are going to look washed out or cold in it. And a navy blue, thousand times better and easier to style.
Warms up. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm wearing navy blue. One thing every woman should get rid of right now in her closet.
Every single piece that doesn't fit.
Oh, but
We don't need,
what if
nope,
I lose weight?
nope. We don't need clothing mocking us, right? We don't need to be like
Yeah,
5 pounds and
it
5 pounds.
does.
And
It like laughs at me.
I know. And the thing is, even with, everyone's weight, fluctuates and things like that. But if it's more than like, by the time it fits, it's probably not going to be in style anymore.
Oh, I
Just
should
get rid
get
of
rid of
it.
that
Have your
junk.
closet filled with pieces
Yeah.
that love you back.
Okay. All right. I will do this. Okay. One thing every single woman should own.
Really good shapewear.
I love that.
It is,
There's no shame in shapewear.
oh my gosh. Right? I went to, we hosted a thing at Allure in Hilldale Mall for professional bra fitting.
Hmm.
I was so far off my bra size. Like it is
I
comical.
was too. I had a professional fitting and I'm like, really?
And
Yeah,
it is a game changer.
it
Once
is.
you get those ladies up where they belong, your whole
Uh-huh.
body structure changes. It game changer.
Yeah. All right. Last one. Your favorite thing about getting older and style.
I think I said it earlier. I feel like I'm just becoming who I am.
Oh,
Oh, it makes me teary. I don't know if you
it
know.
makes me teary
I
too.
last year I went
Yeah.
through. I was treated for cancer last year, and I'm very successfully healed. But I think that my dad died, my dog died, like it was like a year.
Yeah. Like a bad country song.
Oh, exactly. But I think
Yeah.
as you get older, you've gone through so many things and you've weathered them. And
Yeah.
although they were very overwhelming in the moment, I think you look back and you're like, I am so much stronger and wiser and better than I thought I was. And like, I mean, we always laugh like, oh, I'd want the body I had when I was 25. I am so happy with where I am and who I am today. I would never, I think it's
Yeah.
such a gift to be older and to figure out what life is really all about and then to be able
Mhm.
to live with that.
Yeah. And then how does that influence your style?
I think I've become more fearless. I'm not worried about I don't care if I'm the most overdressed person there. I don't care if
Yeah.
I'm wearing something that somebody else thinks looks foolish. I don't care if I'm the boldest color person in the room. I just don't care. I don't care because I'm being myself. And that gives me, I have so much um, peace with that.
I love that. Yeah. Well, you are a beautiful woman, and I just so appreciate dropping in with you, and I could just continue talking with you forever and ever, and I just really appreciate the work you do and your willingness to come on and talk with me about it. Thank
Well,
you.
I am so grateful that you invited me. It's, it's always fun when you have something you're passionate about and someone
Yeah.
else can get as passionate as you are. That's just really fun.
Yeah. Very cool. I can't wait to see you on Wednesday, August 19th, and again on September 17th for our events and beyond and beyond. So thank you
Yes,
so much,
very good.
Lisa.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So let's click. Ah, there.